सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Dayakaram Dayakaram. People who don't know can repeat this. Dayakaram Dayakaram Dantam Dharma Pravartakam Pranamami Dayanandam Madacharya Varamparam. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. When we pray Shanti mantras, we pray for there to be no obstacles, that's for sure. We also create what is called a Digbandhana, an invisible sutra which ties the whole classroom together. So therefore, once the Shanti mantra is said, the attitude must be of no disturbance at all whatsoever. And if generally the idea is to come before the Shanti mantra is chanted. However, sometimes one is late, it's okay. But then if you are coming in the middle of the mantra, stand there till the mantra is finished and then come to take your place. Okay. This way the Digbandhana is not broken, creating an atmosphere for the study. So, now the second chapter was absolutely complete. Can you please close the door? Thank you. The second chapter was a total, complete rendition of the main topics of the Bhagavad Gita. What are the main topics of the Bhagavad Gita? One is called Brahma Vidya. What is Brahma Vidya? The Vidya that says you are Brahman. The knowledge that reveals that you are one with the universe and with the creator of the universe as well. You are one with Ishvara. That knowledge which reveals this is called Brahma Vidya. And Gita is, what does the Gita reveal? Brahma Vidya. This is a important topic. But then simply Brahma Vidya, knowing that Brahma Vidya, the person has to live in a manner that is fulfilled. And the Brahma Vidya reveals you are whole. So how should I lead my life? With that same wholeness, correct? Brahma Vidya reveals I am limitless. So in my everyday life also, how should I conduct myself? As though I am limitless. Brahma Vidya reveals I am free of sorrow. And so when difficulties, challenges come up, what should I not feel? Sorrow. But that does not appear to be the case. There seems to be a gap between what we know and how we live, leading to this whole theory practice wrong understanding that Vedanta is theory and then I have to practice it. There is nothing to practice. It is just the question of knowing. So then I know I am Brahman, why am I still sad? That means if you are Brahman and you are still sad, that means you don't know. That's all it is. Simple. or you know in a surface way, but you haven't assimilated the knowledge. So therefore, the Bhagavad Gita, depending upon the Upanishad vision itself, elaborates a lifestyle that is conducive to gaining this knowledge, first to preparing for this knowledge, and secondly to gain this knowledge, and finally to assimilate this knowledge. And that is the lifestyle called Karma Yoga. That is the lifestyle. This was already introduced in the second chapter. First, the vision was there, the vision of no division, that all that is here is just one complete, total whole. And this Atma is not subject, this Atma is that whole, this Atma, this I is not subject to destruction. Number one, the I is all pervasive. Number two, the I in me is the I in you, is the I in he, is the I in she, is the I in everything. Number three, so Sarvagatatvam of Atma was revealed, that it is all pervasive, and Nityatvam of Atma, that it is never coming to an end, was revealed, and also Nirvikaritvam, that it is not subject to modification, was also revealed. And what is this body? This body is like a t-shirt. T-shirt, why? Because you take it off when it is old and throw it away. Do you have sorrow when you throw away the t-shirt or convert it into a mop rag? No. In fact, you are happy you are getting to buy new clothes. That's actually kind of nice. But here the body is also given up when it has finished its job. Don't say old t-shirt. We do say old t-shirt because that's what the teaching says. Vasamsi jirnani. Jirnani means old, tired, frayed. Yeah, but here the jiva is afraid, okay? Yeah, not just frayed, afraid. Frayed means one would think that, oh, you know, this body should be 99 and then it should die, then it's okay. But we find what? 2-year-old giving up the body. 2-year-old is taken away. Why? How? That body was not jirna. How did this happen? Jirna means old, tired, battered. Why did this body have to go? Well, because it has finished its job. The job means karma. Whatever that karma was there, it is gone. But why does such a small child have to die? Why does that have to happen? The answer is that there is some karma there. For the child also there was karma, and mostly for the parents, because the child is not crying, the child has gone. Who is crying? Parents are crying. They are suffering a irreplaceable loss. They are in pain, they are in sorrow. So there is a karma connected to who? Parents as well. So the parental karma is there, and that is one of the reasons this happens. And then what else is there? There is the karma of the child, well, not the child but the jiva that was in the body of this child. And what is the jiva? What is jiva? Jiva is Atma which complains, that's all. Yeah, Atma plus complaints is jiva. Yeah. Atma without complaints, Ishvara. So you see how easily you can say I am Ishvara when you stop complaining. Yes, in sleep for example. Does anybody complain? Neither do you complain, nor does your roommate complain, because you are fast asleep and you cannot cause any problems for anybody. So nobody complains when you are sleeping. When you are sleeping, it's the oneness with Ishvara. Unfortunately, one is not awake to enjoy it. So therefore, the child's body, the child also is jiva, because the child doesn't know I am Atma, that jiva doesn't know I am Atma. So the giving, why should a small child die away so quickly? We say sometimes it is a specific kind of prarabdha called shishta prarabdha. Leftover prarabdha. Leftover means what? Because you see, we have free will, also given to us by Ishvara. So suppose a person was to live for 90 years or 80 years, maybe 70 years. But because of the abuse of the free will and not taking care of the body, getting into addictive situations, smoking, drinking, whatever, any other wrong kind of even drugs, etc. So the person, let us say that jiva the body cannot sustain this jiva and the body dies away quicker, 10 years quicker than it was supposed to. Then what happens? So not only is the prarabdha for the new body ready, but who is going to exhaust the prarabdha of 10 years? So that's why sometimes the child is born and then perishes after a few years, because it was shishta prarabdha, leftover prarabdha from some other life. So therefore you cannot say it's like old body. It may not be an old body, but it is a body that can no longer house the jiva. Therefore the body is given up, and then Lord Krishna gives the whole T-shirt metaphor. Oh, they had T-shirts in the Dwapara Yuga when this was there. Sure, they had. But here we are just using the word T-shirt to make it relatable. Any kind of shirt, any kind of a clothing. Vasas, clothing. Vasamsi, clothings. Okay, and so this Vasamsi, neuter, clothing. So this clothing and the body are the same, because just like the clothes clothe the body clothes the jiva. The body clothes the indweller called the jiva, and this was explained that the jiva survives death. Nothing can die, and the jiva's truth of the jiva is really Satchidanandam Brahma Atma alone. This was told, and then after that the whole lifestyle that was given to first prepare for this knowledge, second understand this knowledge, third assimilate this knowledge was also given in the form of karma yoga. In the form of first understanding, I do not call all the shots. In fact, the truth is I do not call any of the shots. Just like the simple act of crossing the road yesterday could not be accomplished even though I looked to the right, looked to the left, looked here, looked there, and nothing was there, but then still I didn't make it across the road. That shows that I am not calling all the shots. There are a few known variables which I can account for. I can control, like the temperature in this room, thank God, I can control. Very nice, very comfortable, we can study. And the people who have come for this summer course have much better prarabdha than the people in the last 2 summer courses, because in the last 2 summer courses AC was there, room was there, switch was there, but you could not switch it on without cutting off the power supply for the whole of the ashram. So everybody looked longingly at the switch and then came and sat down. Yes. And then so this summer course is very blessed, even for me, because I don't have to see in the back and watch people just faint. Okay, all that has happened. All right. So so therefore the body, the karma yoga lifestyle is something which first thing we understand, we can control a few things, sometimes not even a few things, like the weather we could not control last 2 summers. This summer we are very blessed So we can control a few things in life, and then we think we are on top, but we are not on top at all. No control is possible. We don't know what is going to happen. That's why there is this expression, there is many a slip between cup and lip. By the time you make yourself some coffee, you say, oh, it's nice and hot, wonderful, I'm going to enjoy it, I have the time before the next class. And by the time you take the sip, what happens? Instead of sip, abhisheka happens. Yes. Yeah. You then have to say Om Jivatmane Namaha. That's all you have to say. Hot abhisheka happens. So you don't know what to do. And then in the daily life, this not knowing what to do becomes just a thorn on the side. It's a confusing life, because on the surface I feel like I control everything, or I should control everything. East or west, after all, I am the best. I should control everything, but I do not control a single thing. Not a single thing. This, after living for a little while, one understands. One does not understand this in the 20s. So sometimes you have to live to 40 to just sort of get the whole gamut of all the things one cannot control. Sometimes even if one lives up to 90, one does not get that information because of some emotional immaturity. But we have to see this because it is a fact. It is a fact that I do not control anything. It is a fact. And the sooner I am comfortable seeing this fact, the sooner I can grow to understand this sacred and wonderful knowledge and make it my own. But there are things in the way. Questions arise. I am not controlling. Who is controlling? You look around, everybody is in the same boat. And therefore what to do? Drag in Bhagavan, Ishvara as the Niyanta. What is Niyanta? Controller. Ishvara as the Niyanta. Niyanta means controller. Controller means creator. Creator, controller, all these, we have to bring in Bhagavan. Bring in means what? Bhagavan was not there till I brought him in. Was there. Bring him in means, bring her in means in terms of my awareness. Bring in Bhagavan in terms of my own awareness. I become comfortable with the idea that there is something called Bhagavan in terms of my own awareness. Bring him into my life. In fact, there is a book by Pujya Swamiji by that title. What is it called? Bringing Ishvara into one's life. This is really not that Ishvara was not in your life beforehand and now I am going to send him an invitation card, him, her, and then say, please come into my life. No, Ishvara was already in the life, but it's a question of discovery. And the discovery of Ishvara cannot be like, yoo-hoo, where are you? There will not be any answer, there will not be any Ishvara will not do pratyaksha, stand in front of you, you called, yes? No, that doesn't happen, except in the Puranas and the Shastras. For Bhaktas, that is an exception. And even if Ishvara were to come and stand in front of you, and you say, oh, nice that you are here, and then Ishvara goes away, and then what happens? You are left with your own sorrow. Then you long for Ishvara to come back. Darshan kab hoga? Darshan kab doge? When will you give me darshan like you did in my dream? I saw Saraswati in the dream, I saw Lakshmi in the dream, I saw Krishna in the dream. Why don't I see you all in the waking state? Come back. The sorrow persists. The sorrow centered on the I persists. So therefore, the vision of Bhagavan, even if that were to be possible, because anything is possible, Bhagavan is Bhagavan. Bhagavan can say, okay, I am coming for a visit. and then come. Even though it's so ironical, because where is the residence of Bhagavan? Right here. Residence of Bhagavan is here, in the exact place where the I is cognized, is the place of life of Ishvara, is the place of residence of Bhagavan. Not recognizing that you who, where are you, keeps on happening. And the more I say that, Ishvara is invisible. Why? Because Ishvara is I. What is the first letter of the word Ishvara? I. That's what it is. See, even in English, you cannot escape Mahavakya. This Ishvara is I. Everything that is Ishvara. So I have to recognize this Ishvara, and the recognition of the Ishvara becomes an important landmark in one's spiritual growth, a highlight. Finally, I say I am helpless. Finally, I say I don't call all the shots. Finally, I say I surrender to whoever you are. Kidrishosi Mahadeva, however you are, whoever you are, wherever you are, you better just make my life all right, because I really need to study this. Take away the obstacles. Take away the obstacles. I really need to study this. And this is what one has to do. This is what one has to understand. This is the beginnings of what is called Karma Yoga. Appreciating the presence of Ishvara, forget the universe, forget the Jagat, in my own life, in the form of all the things I want to do, and I cannot. There seems to be some obstacle. And I look around, other people don't seem to be having this obstacle. I am the only one having this obstacle. Why me? This is the feeling. Why me? But then, unbeknownst to you, the other person is also looking around and seeing the obstacles and seeing your life and looking like your life looks like a jam-filled biscuit. Your life also looks very, very nice. And how is this possible? How on earth is this possible? And so, therefore, there is a very big change that needs to take place. If 8 billion people in the world are all saying why me at once, there is something wrong, okay? Why me means only one person should be saying, but everybody is saying. It seems like a disease. Indeed, it is a disease of samsara. Some sorrow or the other is the definition of samsara. The disease of samsara means what? That there is some kind of a problem. I feel singled out, I feel victimized, all these things. And so Ishvara becomes an authority figure with which I can do wrestling. Yes, I can put on my boxing gloves. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Change this, change that. Or I can recognize Ishvara as my own prarabdha. It's a fact. That Ishvara is in this particular form, in the form of my own karma. That is a beautiful recognition. And I can recognize Ishvara as the truth of all that there is, a little more growth. And then I bring Ishvara into my life in the sense that I make Ishvara a central part of all my decisions. That means what? I have to convert myself into a bhakta, because that's the only relationship with Ishvara that is possible. I have to become a bhakta. No other relationship is possible. Why? Because the bhakti is directed towards what? Things you cannot control. Ishvara is in the form of all the things you cannot control. So therefore bhakti, therefore prayer, therefore yachana, asking. Asking what? Please help. Why? You are the one that created this mess called this human being. Help. Help me here, help me to find the truth of myself. Remove the obstacles. Who do you go to? Ishvara. Help me to stay in this Vidya. Who do you go to? Ishvara. Because you can go to a local person, but they are not going to help. The local person is going to say what? They are going to have their own problems. You say, please help me, and they will say, what are you asking me for help? I have many more problems than you, go away. That's what, they are not going to be able to help. Or they may help one time, and second time they will ask you for help. And this is not going to be, this doesn't work. The helpless one cannot ask help from another helpless entity. The helpless one has to ask for help from an entity who is never helpless. That becomes the connection to Bhagavan, that becomes my connection to Ishvara, because Ishvara is never helpless and therefore can be the altar of seeking help. The altar of seeking help must never be helpless. Ishvara is never helpless because the ruler of all, the creator of all. So therefore the ruler becomes my personal altar in the form of what? Ishtadevata. This is a very important concept in Bhakti, Ishtadevata. Ishtadevata means a Bhagavan in the form of something that I can relate to. Because what is Bhakti? Parama Prema Swarupa Bhakti. Bhakti is in the form of what? Complete, unconditional love. Bhakti is love, a devotional love. This is a far cry, because who is the one who is entering into this bhakti? Why me? Mr. and Mrs. or Ms. Why me is entering into this bhakti. So when you are feeling why me, why me, why me, forget Parama Prema Swarupa. Even Prema Swarupa doesn't come. There is no love there. There is only resentment. There is only fear and resentment, and in many traditions the prayers are fear based. For us too, in the beginning, the prayers are fear based on fear. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I have to pray, oh my God, something will happen. And the parents also teach like this. You better pray, something bad will happen, otherwise you better go and do this. Better do this. If you don't do this on this particular day, something terrible will happen, you better go. And then what to do now? You have to see that this is just the beginning of what we call prayer. Bhayaswarupa Bhakti becomes the beginning of prayer, but then it converts itself with the help of this knowledge to Parama Prema Swarupa. No, but if it is Bhayaswarupa in the form of fear, do I still pray? Yes. You have to begin somewhere. And all these forms of prayer are valid. In fact, this is how the Sri Rudram begins. The Sri Rudram shows Bhagavan in the form of what? A hunter. Coming after who? You, of course. Who else? Yeah. Coming after me? Yes, you. But why me? Exactly. Coming after me? Yes. Why? Because somebody has to give you your karma phala, and the local people cannot give you your karma phala, only Bhagavan can give. So the Bhagavan has not only coming after you, but coming after you with a bow and arrow in the form of a hunter. And that bow is dipped in the tip of the bow is dipped in what? Your own karma phala. Yes. It's not a poison tipped arrow, it's a papa dipped arrow. Dipped in papa. Whose papa? Your own papa. Ayyo, what to do now? And then, therefore, the feeling is you better watch out. Watch out, Bhagavan is coming in the form of karma. So out of fear, let me pray. To get rid of this karma, let me pray. And it works. Because prayer is new karma, and that the punishment which is awaiting is what? From the old karma, that this prayer releases invisible results called adrishta. That karma is also adrishta, invisible. So this adrishta joins that adrishta, and suddenly there is freedom from that particular obstruction. Prayer always works. That's amazing. And so the karma yogi is told to have Ishta Devata, because Bhagavan, you cannot pray to Bhagavan who is nameless and formless. Nameless and formless you cannot connect to, because it is you. And secondly, if there is a Bhagavan and somebody said this is how Bhagavan is, and you have to pray to this Bhagavan. Who is this Bhagavan? Mahakali. All right. Everybody knows what Mahakali looks like, right? If not, let me help you out. And so the tongue is out, and then very nicely sharpened canine teeth are coming also out. And what is she wearing? Let's see, maybe we can take a nice photograph of what she is wearing. She is wearing a garland of what? Skulls. Skulls? Yes. Of who? Your ancestors. That's what she is wearing, a garland of skulls. What? My ancestors? Yes, of course. She is wearing a garland of skulls, and doesn't feel like she is going to stop anytime soon. And so this is how Bhagavan looks. Or you can take, if you say this is feminine form, I cannot relate it to, okay, take masculine form, Kala Bhairava, consort of Mahakali. Kala Bhairava looks the same, frightening looking fellow. Last time we studied this Kala Bhairava Ashtakam. And so, frightening form of Bhagavan, if you start to pray, already frightened jiva. And then who is this Bhagavan? Frightening form of Bhagavan, if you pray to, what will happen? Nothing, you will stop praying. Therefore, since everything is Bhagavan, look at this vision, everything is Bhagavan, everything is Ishvara. And so therefore, any form that you choose, by any name you call it, is what? Ishvara. Very beautiful. Therefore, you can choose Ishta Devata, a form of Bhagavan to whom you can relate, with whom you can relate. And then you pray to that. So in the beginning it is what? Aneka Rupa Bhakti. Many forms of Ishvara are there. And then we can say, okay, I like Ganesha, I am not that much keen on something else. Rama, I am not that much keen. Krishna I like, Ganesha I like. So something that you can relate to, that's what you choose. You choose to relate to Ishvara in the form of bhakti, and then you pray for the removal of all obstacles. Because you understand Ishvara, bringing Ishvara into one's life means understanding that everything in your life is orchestrated by the presence of Ishvara. This is a very big thing. Then after that what? Karma Yoga. So every action brings forth result of action. We saw this yesterday. And the result of action is in whose hands? My hands. No, Ishvara's hands. Very funny kind of a division of labor. You do the work and Ishvara gives the result of action. Ye kya baat hai? How is this even possible? Why is this like this? But it is how it is. You cannot say, I want Ishvara's portfolio as karma phala data. Denied. It's not going to be given. This is how it is. So therefore what? You can stop acting altogether, but that also is not advised, because that will just give depression, not moksha. Because if you just not act today, holiday, one day is okay. Like by the time the May 14th comes, everybody feels like they are out of a jail, okay? Yeah, and that's okay. One day you can enjoy, one day you can do some nice things, one day you can wake up late, one day you can do whatever you want. You don't have to come for meditation. How nice! There is no meditation. Wonderful. You can spend more time in Nirvikalpa Samadhi in your own bed. But then if every day was like that, then you will quickly get bored. After that you will get tired, and then after that you will get depressed. Every day cannot be like that. And so therefore here also you cannot be without doing anything. You have to do a few things. That's why you are put in this world. You are good at a few things, you are doing a few things, and then you have to do these things. And in doing itself, if you don't know Ishvara, if you do not bring Ishvara in your life, doing becomes your undoing. However, if you bring Ishvara into your life, doing becomes a preparation for non-doing, which is the truth of you. How does this happen? This is exactly the subject matter of the third chapter. And so the third chapter need not have been there, because everything was already given, everything was already taught, everything was already told, and then we find Arjuna still not getting ready to fight, because he was told this is the Bhagavad Gita and then this is the teaching, you please go now, get up, fight. And what does he do? Nothing. Yeah, just sits there doing nothing. And what did he do in chapter 1? Sat there, did nothing after raving and ranting about why he wanted to not fight. Third chapter, there was no need for the third chapter, but for the fact that Arjuna asks a question. The question that Arjuna asks is very relevant. Why? Not only because of its content, but because of its very presence. Because it shows us, and we in fact had the first question of Arjuna when? In the last portion of the second chapter, where he asks for the truth of the, where he asks for the description of the Jnani. Description of the Jnani he asks for, he asking for the description of the Jnani, he wants to know how to recognize. This shows us a very important truth about this tradition, that the teaching is not blind faith. In many other religions, teaching means blind faith. You have to believe. What do you have to believe? God created this world. It's a matter of belief. And then what? And then God is all loving. Oh, that's wonderful. God is all loving, but you have to be careful. Why should I be careful if God is all loving? No, that's how it is. Don't shut up, don't ask. Don't ask questions. There's no room for questions. There's absolutely no room for questions at all. You have to believe. And then based on this belief, we have the whole entire various religions. And in fact, they are, since they are based on belief, they are called faith traditions, faith. Ours is not a faith tradition. Yes, there are certain things to believe which are beyond logic, and then there are certain things to discover, which is the truth of myself. The truth of myself cannot be a matter for belief. Just like you cannot say, I believe I exist. Can you say that? You can say that, but that will sound really silly. Yeah. There is no point in understanding that, because it is wrong. You don't say, I believe I exist. What kind of an understanding is that? It's ridiculous. So therefore what? I don't believe I exist, I know I exist. If you know you exist, then the truth of your existence also is not a matter for belief, it's a matter for knowing. What is this I? Am I as good as this body? Do I die when the body dies? Already in the second chapter we heard that is not possible. So Arjuna's question shows us that this tradition is a dynamic tradition based on dialogue, a special kind of dialogue between the teacher and the taught, which is called Samvada. Vada, talk. Samvada, some kind of a talk. Yeah. What kind of a talk? A very special kind of a talk where the student gives the teacher the benefit of doubt, does not quiz the teacher, does not go saying, let me see how much the teacher knows, because sometimes that's how the person approaches. The person doesn't want to know, but the person wants to know how much the teacher knows. That kind of a attitude is not going to give the knowledge. Sometimes the student is mad at the teacher and takes out the question answer time for questioning the teacher's motives and questioning the teacher's actions and questioning the teacher's talks. That also is not Samvada. Samvada means I give the benefit of doubt to the teacher and I know that there is something I need to understand. And if I don't understand, what do? I ask questions. This is the dialogue here. That Arjuna can ask questions is a very, very beautiful thing for us, because that means what? We can also ask questions. But when Sunday night, okay, yeah, chillax, yeah. Sunday night we will have Q&A, and so we can also ask questions, because in the tradition one grows through asking and understanding the answers to the questions. So the question in the third chapter begins the third chapter where Arjuna is upset. Why? And the question is coming from a place of non-understanding and also a slight upset. What was taught? You are the whole, you are limitless, you are free of guilt, of hurt, you are free of pain, you are free of sorrow, you are free of everything. Therefore, get up and fight. What? There is a disconnect. If I am free of everything, am I not free of this body? Yeah, but get up and fight. Am I not free of this war, my duties? Yes, you are a non-actor, really you are akarta, you are a non-actor, you are abhokta. Atma neither does nor is done in. Therefore, Arjuna, get up and fight. ये क्या बात है? What kind of an advice is this? Arjuna is disturbed because Arjuna likes the vision. Arjuna likes the vision of no division. He loves it. He loves the fact that Atma is neither the doer nor is done in by other people's doings. Atma does not come to an end and all this. And so this is the knowledge. Now you have given me the knowledge and I should just sit with this knowledge. With this knowledge, what is not compatible is action. Action and knowledge do not go together, and here you are telling me, therefore get up and fight. What's wrong with you? You are as though confusing me. Here is where we see the Shraddha, the benefit of doubt given to the teacher. The words as though. In Sanskrit, the word as though is what? Iva. ज्यायसी चेत कर्मणस्ते मता बुद्धिर्जनार्दन तत्किं कर्मणि घोरे मां नियोजयसि केशव व्यामिश्रेण वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसि इव मे बुद्धिं मोहयसि इव एकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयः अहम् आप्नुयाम्. Look here, Krishna. I came to you asking for Shreyas. Shreyas means what? A popular Indian boy's name. Yes? True, but then what is the meaning of Shreyas? Moksha. That which is the best. The best thing in life is what? Chocolate cake, but right now we will say moksha. Okay? Yeah. Best thing in life is what? Moksha. And that is what I want. What I want? Moksha. And what I am being told? go and fight this stupid war, this bloody war, where I have to kill what? My own people. What kind of a life is this? So, you are as though confusing me because there is a contradiction, an apparent contradiction between what you are saying for me to do and between the vision that you have just blessed me with. Jayas means superior. And so, buddhihi jayasi chet. If buddhi means the knowledge here, it is not buddhi, one's individual buddhi. If the knowledge is superior, jayas is superior, jayasi because it has to go with buddhi, feminine. Jayasi chet, if you say the buddhi is superior. Buddhi means the wisdom, the self-knowledge is superior to what? Karmanaha, to action. O Janardana, O Lord Krishna, if you think that the knowledge is superior to action, because that's how you have presented it in the second chapter, and then tat kim karmani niyojayasi, then why are you keeping on pushing me to action? And what kind of action? Ghore karmani. Ghora means what? Terrible action. You're not just pushing me to action. What kind of action are you putting me in? Disgusting action. You're not saying, oh, go to a cafe and have some coffee and have a croissant and read the newspaper. That will be very pleasant action. I don't mind. Go attend a wedding. Go to something. Go do something nice. Okay. But here, what are you telling me to do? Fight a terrible war. I'm not against war. Arjuna was not a pacifist. Arjuna was a warrior. So I am not against war. You go and ask me to vanquish some unknown people, I will do it. I will teach them a lesson and come back. But here are what? My own grandfather, my own gurus, my own uncles, people in whose lap I played. And then my own nephews. These are all people who played in my lap, and you are asking me to fight this terrible war. I am confused by these mixed up words, which I do not understand. Therefore, what? Ekam vada. Tell me one thing which will lead me to moksha. One thing you tell me. Don't give me these options. I don't know how to understand this. And what does Lord Krishna reply? Lord Krishna replies by saying that there are two paths created by me in this world. Two paths are there. Oh, but I was always told there are four paths. What are the other four paths? What are the four paths? Karma Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga, and then Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the sorrow of Arjuna, so many yogas. Yoga means paths here. So many lifestyles, so little time. I thought I could choose. These all came later, really. They are later interpolations out of the out of the zeal of Swami Vivekananda, the most fiery personality who wanted to enthuse everybody who had gone into a stupor in pre-independent India. He wanted to just wake up everybody. In fact, he wrote a book, Arise, Awake. And like this, he was a very, very charismatic teacher, a charismatic personality, and he was also a desperate personality, desperate for people to awaken. And so, in that zeal, he just wanted to make sure that everybody comes to the spiritual life, no matter where they are or what they are doing. If somebody is doing yoga all day long, doesn't matter, even that is your portal to this life. If somebody is reading Gita all the time, that is your portal to this life. If somebody is I don't even know what Raja Yoga is, but whatever it is, that is the portal to your life. And no, I am just sitting in front of Bhagavan and doing bhajans. Okay, that is the portal to the spiritual life. Doesn't matter. Use any of these quote unquote paths to come to where you need to come. That is what the idea is. The path, after all, is to be travelled upon to reach the destination. What is important is not the path. For him, what was important was not the path. What was important was the destination. Somehow you come, doesn't matter, you come. By the dirt road you come, by the highway you come, by the waterway you swim and you come, or you fly and you come, doesn't matter, you just come. That was the idea. But this is something that he himself acknowledged, and the Ramakrishna mission also acknowledges this, that he was an innovator. Swami Vivekananda was an innovator and a very creative personality, and who wanted to include everybody in his understanding and into this life. Which life? The understanding that there is something there to know. And so the later paths came later. What is sanctioned by the Upanishads are two lifestyles. We don't even call them paths. Lifestyles. Loke asmin dvividha nishtha pura prokta. Pura means when? Earlier. Earlier where? In the Ishavasya Upanishad. These two lifestyles are given. Ishavasyamidagam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha magridha kasya svidhanam. This is the first lifestyle. First line is what you need to know. What is it that you need to know? What is the vision? Ishavasyam idam sarvam. All this that is here is pervaded by Bhagavan. Is not without the presence of Bhagavan. This is what you need to know. There are two lifestyles dedicated to gaining this knowledge. One is the lifestyle of knowledge, the pursuit of knowledge itself in away from every other pursuit. And the second is the lifestyle where you pursue many other things in order to get ready for this knowledge. Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha. Bhunjithaha means to protect. Protect oneself. Oneself here means the body, mind, sense complex, ahankara, etc. Protect oneself by what? Giving up everything. How to protect? By giving up? I thought protect means you have to hoard the things and then protect. No. Protect by giving up. When you give up, there is nothing to protect. Except maybe perhaps a begging bowl that you don't have to protect because nobody is taking it away. Nothing to protect. So you grow into this person for whom there is nothing to protect, because you have protected yourself from all distractions and all things in the universe, and because of this knowledge you grow up into a person who has nothing to protect. Nakaschit gopaitum ichhati, Adi Shankara would say in the explanation of the mantra in the Kathopanishad, which says na tato vijugupsate. Nakaschit gopaitum ichhati, the one that does not need to protect anything, that is the jnani. This is the lifestyle dedicated to Atma Jnanam. Lifestyle dedicated to Atma Jnanam. Then, second thing is this. What is the second thing? The second lifestyle, kurvan eveha karma ani jiji vishet chatagum samaaha. Evam tvainanyatheto osti na karma lipyate nare. Live your life without being touched by the results of action, because otherwise the whole life is a loop between action and results of action, and then live your life in such a way that you perform the action, but then you outwit Ishvara by not getting the results of action, because results of action are in whose hands? Ishvara's hands. So there is a loophole here. How to trick Ishvara is given in chapter 3. How to trick Ishvara? By making Ishvara the karta of the action. Then the results will go to whom? Ishvara alone. And if they come to me, what comes from Ishvara is what? Prasada. I learn to look at them as prasada. Are you tricking yourself or Ishvara? You are actually tricking yourself, but ultimately you are Ishvara, so theek hai, no problem. This is a trick. This is a wonderful trick. Since I am not in charge of action, result of action, how can I be in charge of action? You are in charge of action, so you make Ishvara a proxy actor. You drag in Ishvara and say, I am not doing this, naham karta, tvameva karta. You are the karta, naham karta. If I am not the karta, can I become the experiencer of the results of action? Not at all. Not at all. I am not the experiencer of the results of action, because I didn't do the action. Who did the action? You point to Ishvara. Ishvara did the action. And so therefore, a very nice way to disconnect the cord between action and result of action and get out of the loop. While getting ready for this knowledge, I use the action for emotional maturity, not for the results of action. So therefore it does not matter what I do. I can be somebody who sweeps the whole ashram. Doesn't matter what I do, because what is the outcome of the doing? The outcome of the doing is not to be appreciated as a sweeper. That is not the karma phala I want. What is the karma phala I want? I want atma jnanam. I want emotional maturity. I want to get ready for atma jnanam. In other words, I want to overcome strong preferences, raga and dvesha, which are talked about in detail in the 3rd chapter. I want to overcome these strong preferences and then thereby grow into a person ready for this knowledge. This knowledge and strong preferences cannot go together. The more the raga, dvesha, the less the chance of assimilating these teachings. And so therefore, these two lifestyles have been given by Bhagavan. The first lifestyle is what? Drop everything. Drop the words, drop all these actions, drop pursuits, and then just say, I am going to burn the bridges, burn the boats. Burn the boat means what? Having crossed the river to reach the ashram, you burn the boat so that you are not tempted to go back. Having crossed the river using a bridge, you burn the bridge so that you are not tempted to go back. One-way ticket. You come with a one-way ticket and then you don't go back. There is not, because you have understood there is nothing to go back to. Because whatever there is to go back to was just finite and not having lasting fulfillment. So therefore there is nothing to go back to, and therefore what? You just pursue this knowledge. How many people can do that? For 3 months I can do that. Very good. Fantastic. But it's difficult to do that on a full term basis. So therefore what is the option? The option is you just lead your life, do whatever you are doing, spiritualize your action, and then don't get caught up in the result of action, and then use the results of action for self-growth, and then get ready for knowledge. How to do that? We will see in the next class at 11 o'clock. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo